each and every day as we take this journey of life, this magnificent journey that we're on right here, right now. And so what I want to do with you is I want to talk to you about people. I want to have a conversation with you about why are people in your life? Have you ever asked that question? Why are people in your life? There's a reason they're in your life. They're there to support and grow you. Now, you may not understand that. You may not be consciously aware that these people in your life, but they are there to consciously and grow you. In fact, think about this. The only really reason to ever be in a relationship is to support and grow each other. If that was not the primary foundation of the relationship with my wife, we wouldn't be in relationship. If that was not the primary reason for a relationship with my friends, I wouldn't be in relationship with them. It's all about growth and support. And so we've got to ask the question when we let people into our lives, we've got to ask the question is this relationship growing and supporting me? Now, here's the twist. Here's something that's going to blow your mind. Sometimes people are in your life to support and grow you, and the only way that can happen is if you let them go. Whoa, you just said, Lee, what did you just say? I said, sometimes there may be people in your life that for whatever the reason, you're not able to be your authentic self, or for whatever the reason, they have a different energy, a darker energy than you. And that energy, because they're in your life, is having an impact on you and not allowing you to grow, then you've got to let them go. Because they're like you're this hot air balloon, and you're meant to soar. You're meant to be up thousands of feet, looking down on the earth, getting this most magnificent view. But you can't get up higher because you've got this toxic person that's like this great big sandbag. This great big sandbag on the side of the hot air balloon. And what you've got to do is you've got to cut the cord, and let that bag go so that you can soar. Now, people are going to say to me, well, Lee, what if it's a family member? And I would say, yeah, what if it is? Just because someone's family doesn't mean they have to be in your life on a constant basis. Who you let in your life, who you give your time to, is your decision. You don't have to answer to anybody but yourself. At the end of the day, think about this. You came into this world by yourself. You will leave this world by yourself. The only person you have to answer to is yourself. And you ask the question, is what is in my life right now allowing me to expand my awareness, to expand my consciousness, to be a greater me, to have a greater experience of life? And if that's not the case, let me just tell you, gang, let them friggin' go. So let me say hi to Tatiana, to Bond Squad, to Jean, to Patricia, Annette, Connie, and eat, play, and decorate. If you're out there and you haven't checked in, please check in and let me know where you're from. Also, if you've got questions about this, I love to talk about any specific questions you might have. This is not me wanting to just talk. This is your time too. So if you've got something, don't be shy. Write a question down or comment. I love when you do that. It keeps me going. It keeps me going. Brigitta just said, hey, hello. And Karen said, hey, hello. I love it. I love it. Gardner, been missing you. Knowing all is well for you, sweet person. I am finding that as I release people who are not feeding me anymore, it's not necessarily true that someone will immediately replace them in my life. What I'm finding out is that when I release someone, the person I'm replacing them with is a deeper relationship with myself. Did you just hear what I said? Because isn't that the most important relationship? The most important relationship that we build? One with ourselves? And so if we release people from our lives and they're toxic, guess what? Then we build a relationship with ourselves. We have to trust ourselves. Eat, Play, and Decorate says, I dated a guy years ago and I realized he was only in my life when things were bad. So, eat, play, decorate. Can you be grateful for what that guy was and what that relationship was in your life? Can you see how that relationship at that time was valid? It was good for you at that time. That's when you can let go of that person, the memory, and you won't be haunted by that memory the rest of your life like a lot of people are with their bad relationships of the past. Tatiana says, I recently let go of a few family members because they need healing and don't want to acknowledge it. Therefore, brings my energy down. Focus on the self, dear ones. Well, Tots, hope you don't mind me calling you Tots, but I think that's a cute nickname. Anyway, I want to gently say, I noticed some judgment in how you said that. And so what I want to say to you, and I'm saying that because I say things like that, and I'm catching myself on that. Here's what I say. Some family members are no longer in my life because we're just not in the same vibration. And what I know is that we will reconnect when we're vibrating in a similar fashion. But until we do, I'm going to let them vibrate with people like themselves. Do you notice how there's a different feeling about what I just said? A different way of looking at that energy? I don't know if you feel that, but for me, it's subtle, but it's more loving. It's more accepting. It's accepting, hey, they're at a different frequency. Not that they need healing. How do you know they need healing? Maybe they're exactly where they need to be. And that's what I've come to understand. In this crazy world right now, everyone is exactly where they need to be. And we've got to come out of this thing of judging people. And right now, Tots, I'm not focusing on you. I'm talking in general. I want to make that clear so you don't take anything personally here. And Karen, you're going, what little I know of your life, what little I know of your situation, you're going through a major transition in your life. Because you're starting to rebuild a whole new life based on first developing an incredible relationship with yourself, probably one that you've never had before, because you're going to have to go deeper. You're going to have to trust more. And when you go on that deeper relationship, people that have been in your life all these years, they're not going to understand because they're in a different frequency. And so it's not that you got to let them go. You just don't put time and emphasis there. And guess what? That's what I found. When you don't put time and emphasis, here's a really great one. In my life, if I don't initiate in most of my relationships, there'll be no initiation. If there's no initiation, the relationship has no juice and it just goes away. Isn't that a shame? But isn't that true? Isn't that true? I've only got a couple people in my life that we have a yin and yang. It's a back and forth thing. It is a give and a receive on both parts. You see, those are the only relationships that mean anything. Do you get that? If it's a give and receive on both parts, if it's a receive, 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 or a give, 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 it's not a healthy relationship. Everything in life is circular. Everything in my life it's got to be circular, because without circulation, there's death. Look at the Dead Sea. Everything comes in, but there's no outlet. What happens? Everything dies. What happens if you have blockage in one of your arteries? You die. What happens if you have a blockage in your bowel? Oh my God, you could die of constipation. Oh, and how miserable that is. How did I get to constipation? Well, I'll tell you how. I'm a guy. That's what guys talk about. I know most of you are ladies out there, and that's okay. I'm just sharing with you from a guy perspective. You don't have to agree with me. Realize that I never, ever, 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 ever want you to agree with me. If something I say challenges you or resonates with you, prove it for yourself. And then it's yours. It's not Reverend Lee's. It's yours. And that's more important. What if the external factors are more powerful than you can handle, like what's happening in Lebanon? The basic needs of living are not existed anymore. My heart goes out to you because I can't understand that because I've never lived it. All I can say to you is do the best you can on getting your needs met, but take time daily to step out of that world in meditation, even if it's for 5 minutes, and tap into source, into your truth, and realize all that external. Here's what I'm going to say to you. I didn't know if I wanted to go down this path today or not. But with everything happening in the world today, people say, what's that all about? Really, what's happening in the world today is a result of the collective consciousness of humanity. And until we change the collective consciousness of humanity, the experiences will continue to be of such great contrast until we wake up. So what you can change is what you're responsible for. And that is your consciousness, your level of awareness. So no matter where you're living, what you're going through, find a way to re-tap into that source that you are. And I highly recommend you find meditation as a daily practice. Highly recommend that. If you don't know how to do that, you can join me every morning at 7 a.m. Just go to agapespiritualcenter.com. You'll go to the calendar and you'll find a link on Zoom, and you can join the 20 of us that are meditating at least every day. I meditate every day with the people, but I also meditate prior to that, and I meditate later in the afternoon. Meditation is an essential practice for me. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for checking in. Thank you for opening your hearts and sharing. But most of all, as you go in the world, I want to express great gratitude for you being you. Because without you, the world would not be complete. So go out there, be you, be the most fantastic you can be. And know if no one else says it, I will. I love you because I accept you as you are. Until next time, aloha.